All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm Blitz5, and I hope you guys are doing well. I have the Season 9 patch notes in front of me, and it's become a tradition on my YouTube channel to go over the patch notes in full. So this video is going to be a bit longer. Usually these run anywhere from like 15 to 20 minutes. So if you're not into this kind of stuff, just come back for the next video. And if you want to hear me talking about the update, I was able to play it yesterday and go over all of the patch notes, then stick around and we're going to go over all of this stuff right now. And by the way, if you're wondering why am I in a green screen right now, I just moved last week and the stream room is under construction. So I'm hiding everything in the background with the green screen. It kind of works for this video. So before we get into this, anytime there's a new update, it's huge for PUBG. Everyone always goes, this is the biggest update ever. This is huge for PUBG. And I think that's true every time they launch new content. But this is even more true right now because we're heading towards the end of the year. And we also have next-gen consoles releasing during this season. And it's just a big deal for PUBG because it's going to be competing with some other games. Luckily, there's no other major titles that are dropping right now with the next-gen consoles, at least in this space. We have the new Call of Duty coming out, but there's not like 5 new battle royales coming out immediately on the next-gen consoles. And obviously it's available, on PC. So it's not just about the consoles, but this is huge for PUBG as always. And anytime there's a new season, we get a new Survivor Pass and usually some new content. And the main star of this season is the new map Paramo. So let's see what PUBG has to say first. So they have cradled hidden among the clouds of the highlands of South America lies Paramo, an ancient land with ancient secrets. Paramo's dangers are plentiful, but none so dangerous as the active volcano nearby, whose molten lava streams flow across the land. Survivors dropping onto the Paramo battlegrounds will only be able to reach the highlands via helicopter, which also have the task of distributing care packages around the field. So we have this image here. We have Paramo, the lava ground, the volcano in the background. The smoke Chinook helicopter, which is carrying in the care package and also brings us into the battlegrounds. And we have a player here with the Panzerfaust RPG taking a shot at the helicopter. And these do spawn on the map, which is pretty cool. And then some additional information about the map. I'm going to go through this quickly in bullet form and then kind of elaborate because there's a lot to unpack here. So the map is the second smallest map in PUBG. This is a 3x3. Karkin is the smallest with 2x2, and then Sanhok is 4x4. So it's right in the middle there, and I felt like it did feel like that when I was playing it. 64 players, TPP squads only as of now. No red zones, and the blue zone shrinks slower but does more damage than the other maps. And motorcycles are the only vehicles available on Paramo, and they can be found near small villages. What else is going on here? Paramo is provided as a seasonal match exclusive for Season 9 only. So this map is only going to be around for Season 9, allegedly. I have a hard time believing that. I feel like PUBG is going to maybe update that later, but we'll see. Seasonal match will have bots disabled, so that's huge for people that don't want to play against bots. Seasonal match will not count for your career stats or your battle stats. So if you have any guns that are tracking your kills, they will not be tracked for this when you play on this map or in this playlist. But you will be allowed to complete missions. So it's a little confusing here the way they're saying this with the seasonal match. I feel like they should just say seasonal map or seasonal playlist. So what does this mean? Are we going to see more seasonal playlists in the future? I'm not sure. Like I alluded to, a lot of times PUBG will say like, oh, we're doing this its own queue. And then halfway through the season, they change it, or even like 2 weeks into the season, they change it. So I really feel like there's going to be some changes here. And I also saw a tweet from the head of PUBG NA who responded to someone who said this is basically a better version of the map Karkin. And you should just replace Karkin with this map, rotate Karkin out for a little while. And he responded saying that could be an option. So I feel like everything's on the table and nothing is set in stone. And if you know anything about Paramo, there was the Paramo stones, which I don't think they even got distributed. That's for another video. But if you don't know about the Paramo stones, maybe just Google it. And we'll continue on. Oh, well, I should mention TPP squads. This created a lot of frustration and confusion in the community. Same person, Brian Corrigan, the head of PUBG NA, responded, which I sent out a tweet saying the same stuff, just kind of assuming, but he did confirm that the reason why this is in TPP squads only is because that is the most played playlist. And if this is going to be its own playlist that's seasonal, they're going to want to give it the best chance to survive. So obviously this could open up to more playlists or more sections. But right now it's just starting TPP squads, which is the same thing with ranked. So I don't know why people were so confused about that, but I guess people are just disappointed because there's so many FPP players out there, especially on PC. But that's kind of the deal for right now. And then some of the biggest news for Paramo is that it is PUBG's first dynamic map. And I will say to you guys that I was a little underwhelmed by this map being dynamic. I got a lot of questions about what does this mean? To me, dynamic means that there's stuff changing in the map. And there was people going crazy with conspiracies, including myself, that there was going to be lava flowing throughout the map. The volcano would erupt mid-match. And none of that is really happening at all in the game. What's dynamic about this map is that every time you land, the locations are changing on the map. But after playing it, it seems like only the large locations are moving. And there's only about 5 or so, like I would say cities, if you want to say, larger compounds that are named in the game. There's like lab, and then a bunch of other ones I can't pronounce. Oh, there's helipad, and then some other ones, like some ruin-based ones. But really, those seem to be the only things moving. I was tracking some small compounds every game, and those seem to stay pretty static. So I'm not sure if the landscape is changing every game. I don't really think so. Maybe just around those cities. But to me, it wasn't that impressive. But I mean, it is cool that they're able to move those big cities. I don't really know how they did that. And I like that those big cities moved. But really, every time you get a new planes, every time you jump into a game, there's a different line. And that kind of brings you to other cities just automatically. But maybe this is their solution for sometimes if there's a city all the way west, maybe nobody's going to jump there because they always go center. So it gives them an ability to see that compound. And B, it does kind of allow for more dynamic changes in the future to keep the map fresh, which I think a lot of people like. So I think this is just the beginning stages of this. And we also have to remember that this is just the beginning of the season. And if you're not seeing something in here now, we might see it in the future. For example, helipad doesn't have a helicopter on it, but maybe in patch 9.2, there could be a helicopter coming to PUBG. Who knows? These are just my own thoughts right now. But that is the dynamicness of the map right now, is that it's just the big cities are moving from game to game. There's also the lava flow. Several streams of lava flow from active volcanoes are Paramo present a unique environment hazard to you. But these are static. So they're there on the top of the map coming down, and they do block some of your walking ways. And it was kind of fun because I was like, oh, I want to flank north here, but I got to get around the volcano lava. So you're trying to jump over it, but you take a little bit of damage. And it is pretty strong. So 10 damage per second definitely goes quick. And just quickly running across it, you'll probably lose, 20 damage. But if you get stuck on one or take a bad angle, then you could actually take a decent amount of damage. And riding the motorcycle across will actually damage the tires to the motorcycle. And unlike any other maps, I don't think I mentioned this before, Paramo is actually on top of a mountain. And instead of being surrounded by water, it's actually surrounded by an unplayable area. So you can go outside the area, but you'll get a warning and then eventually you'll be killed. But stuff can happen outside the warning area. And they can drop the care packages outside the warning area. You can go for it. I actually witnessed one of my teammates trying to do that, and then he got killed. I saw someone saying that's like a viable strategy, but then when I watched this person go for it, they definitely did not have enough time to get in and get out. But it is something interesting to the map, and also makes me think, will we see something happening outside the warning zone in the future? Or maybe it's just what they wanted to do because they didn't want to put it to have a volcano. They couldn't just have it be, well, I guess they could have made it like Hawaii where it was an island, but maybe they just wanted to change up the design. Not sure if this is just, a simple design thing or something more for the future. But anyways, it does give it kind of a bigger feel because it's not surrounded by water. And then one of the newest features here, which I feel like you'd see this in some other video games, is that there's boxes now that are destructible. And inside here seems to be a little bit of loot for the most part. I saw healing items. It says ammo, throwables, and stuff like that. Every time I destroyed one, it was like an adrenaline syringe or a painkiller, which you see in this this clip here, this image. This is cool, I think. But then also at the same time, I think, why are they implementing this into the game? It makes you shoot the box. You can punch them, so you can switch weapons and punch them out. But most of the time I was just shooting them, and then I had to tell my teammates like, hey, I'm shooting this box right now. So they didn't think that there was enemies nearby. So I don't know, is PUBG trying to do this to make people shoot more, to, encourage action? Because sometimes when people hear gunshots, they'll go towards it. So is this trying to encourage stuff? Is this trying to just be like fun and add more dynamicness to the map? Like, I wonder when they're developing this stuff, what was the reasoning behind this? Just for fun, to create more noise so people hear other people in the area, or what's exactly going on with this? I'm not sure. Just more excitement because it's a package that you see on the ground. I don't know. Overall, I didn't mind it. So what's really cool is that players are now dropping out of the helicopter. The helicopter sounds amazing, so good. And then it also drops this cargo box, and it says here, with the plan of dropping it just outside the play zone area. So I guess the helicopter, the Chinook, will actually drop this outside the play zone area, like I was mentioning before, but it's pretty easy to shoot down, and then it will drop it exactly where you shot it down. So what happens is you're shooting at this kind of like the loot truck, and when it goes on fire, it will drop the crate, and the helicopter doesn't actually crash into the ground. It just goes on fire and then will fly away. In here, we thought it was going to be huge because it looks like a triple care package, but it really just had, I think, one weapon and then a couple items in it. So it was just a little bit more than a regular care package, at least the one that we went to. And I didn't even get anything, so I was kind of bummed. And then also there's some exclusive things. I don't know if this was in my care package. So we got the normal ghillie suit, but then this is a customized full body camo, which I've not seen in game yet, but this looks really, really cool. And on Paramo, the grass and the bushes are pretty tall. So if you have an outfit like this or a regular ghillie suit, I mean, you could be seriously hidden. I was wearing a pretty, regular outfit with, I think, like kind of light colored pants, and I was completely hidden. So if you're wearing something like this, you will be very, very hard to see, which I think will have some, pros and cons in the community. And then here is a new item, and I can kind of hear myself echoing right now. So I'm in the new room and I don't have this completely soundproof. So just so you guys know, but here's a new item that we're actually able to find. So I'll scroll down a little bit first. Let's skip this first, then we'll go here. So on the map, there's this new thing called a secret room key that you'll find. You're like, what is a secret room key? It's not like you're playing PUBG. And what's weird about this, it goes to the top of your inventory. So a lot of times I don't use the quick button for healing. I just hit like tab or whatever this start. I forget. It's funny because you don't even know the button that you're hitting, but when you're playing on a controller, you immediately do it. Anyways, I go into my inventory and I usually hit first aid like really fast, very quickly. But now this is at the top of your inventory, so just watch out for that. And if you find the hidden room, which I don't know their locations, they're just kind of scattered throughout the map. It was like a little temple we found. I was playing with Average Sniper, shout out to him. And on PC, we found this room. The key opened, the doors came down. They were like, locked doors, little ruined doors. They came down kind of like I'm trying to think of some kind of movie like Tomb Raider style, whatever you want to say. And then this was in here, the CRK, the critical response kit, and then some scopes. So I was a little underwhelmed by this again because it was just one critical response kit, which allows you to revive a teammate in 1 second. So basically like an instant revive. But then it's cool that there was an 8x scopes on the small map. So if you had a sniper, you could really get an advantage. But there wasn't that much stuff in there. And to get the key and to find one of these things to actually use it is pretty rare. I think, we only did it one time, and I played for 4 or 5 hours yesterday, probably, about 3-4 hours of in-game time. So maybe it's not that rare, but I don't know. I was just a little underwhelmed, but I think PUBG now is taking the approach with all this stuff that they'd rather go less so that people don't think that, the secret room is overpowered or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think they'd rather go less stuff and then add in more later so they don't get people frustrated. But this is a really cool device that I've yet to see used, but I think it's going to be very nice. It would be very fun, especially on this map, on the smaller maps but in this case, the circle's not even moving that fast. It's not like you're in a rush, but this could definitely be cool on some of the other maps as well. Then scrolling down here, we have ranked mode. We got ranked solo mode coming into season 9, which so many people are excited about. Personally, I'm not that excited about this because I just think that playing ranked in solos could be a major, major camp fest, which I know camping is a legitimate strategy in the game, but I just think that ranked is more for squads. Again, just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people are excited about this. So if you are, this is coming into the game. And they're just going over the rules here. It's going to be Erangel, Miramar, Vikendi, Sanhok, just like squads. And there'll be 64 players, just like squads. Very interesting there. And then we have some ranked leaderboard changes. I think they're allowing some leaderboards in other countries. There's not enough people like hitting the top 500. In the US, it's very competitive, or in NA on console at least, but they're making some adjustments in the other areas. And they got some ranked mode updates, which I don't know if... I did read through this already. I wasn't sure if I skipped this, but I did read this. So the biggest thing here is that they're trying to encourage more action by doubling the points, or not doubling, I should say, by 50%. So it's not double, would be by 100. So points earned by kill and assist have been increased by 50%. Sanhok blue zone adjustment compared to other maps. The number of players who die in phase 2 is very high. So I think they're like slowing down the blue zone. And I think the blue zone on Sanhok was dynamic. So they're removing that. They're increasing the amount of AR and DMR magazine spawns, increasing the amount of long-range scopes, increasing candidate sites, weird. And slightly decreased the spawn rate of 2 and 3 times. I mean, those are the ones I like to use in ranked. So I wonder why they're doing that. And I definitely don't like using canted. Let me know if you guys use canted scopes down below. I don't see many people ever using those. I don't know why they would want that. Maybe pros do. Decreased handgun spawns. Esport vehicle spawn locations will now always spawn a vehicle. Very nice. I think that's necessary. And the MG3 is being added into all ranked maps. And I think that's fine, right? That they're keeping a lot of the new changes out of ranked, but adding the MG3 is completely fine. And then here's something. There are regional matchmaking changes coming to the game. I've been having people message me about this a lot over the last 24 hours. This is for PC right now only. And if you're a console player, we have to wait until the console patch notes to see what's going on here. But the big news was that if you look here, go to NA, for FPP, they're moving ranked from TPP to FPP. So FPP has solo, duo, squads, and then it has solo rank, squad rank. And then if you look at TPP, they're actually removing duos and they have solo and squad. So people are saying this is crazy. I personally think that this is a change for PC only, because on console, we have a great player base with crossplay between PlayStation and Stadia, and I never have an issue getting a game on solos, duos, or squads at pretty much any time in TPP. And when I play on PC, it's usually an issue, especially in the morning. So I personally think this is a PC thing. We might see console have a change from rank to from TPP to FPP. That might be happening. I believe that probably will happen, and that will be huge news. Again, just my opinion, but I don't think that console will be getting rid of duos. But who knows? PUBG Andy, who works for PUBG, said that we should be waiting for console and not to overanalyze this. So I'm going to back down on the overanalyzations, and we'll just wait for the console patch notes, which should be coming soon. And other than this difference, news about the increased frame rates, which are coming to console. The end of the month, we are getting increased frame rates for Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. Other than that, I'm hoping that the patch notes should be pretty similar or exactly the same, other than those things. So if you want to check your region and what's changing here, you can go here, just look at this right now, and you can see what's going on in your region. Then we have some weapon balance update. We have some changes to the barrel and the SLR. Both of them are getting a nerf. And there was a joke here. I think this was created by one of the PUBG commentators, Clover. So shout out to her. Player Unknown's Barrel Grounds. I think she was one of the first people I heard to coin that phrase. So they are reducing the barrel by 2 points and increasing vertical recoil spray and horizontal spray by 5%. So very small decreases here. And similar thing with the SLR, moving it down by 2 damage points. And I think this is a pretty good approach, because the barrel, the SLR has always been extremely strong, especially versus the SKS and the Mini. People still use the SKS and the Mini, especially people like me. I'm a big Mini fan, but I like that they're bringing the SLR down just a little bit, because it is pretty much the best DMR. And then the barrel has been the choice of all players now, because it's the strongest AR, and this has been the meta, it's just barrel SLR, which to me, I don't mind there being stronger guns, but when everyone's just going for barrel SLR, I find that kind of, a little boring. But I always wonder, maybe they could just drop it by 1 damage point, and then, next update another one, just to see how it moves. But going by 2 obviously isn't a huge difference there. And then this is kind of crazy. Gcoin is being introduced now on PC. On PC, they normally just use regular currency. You could just buy stuff with your local currency, I think. And now it's changing to Gcoin. So this must have been a pain in the ass for PUBG to do this. It's always been implemented on console. And I wonder why they're doing that. They're saying it makes it a little bit easier because you could just buy stuff in Gcoin. But I think always it's kind of like gambling. When you do stuff that's not your money, I think you spend more. If you have to buy something that's $50, you're like, it's $50. But if you have like 5,000 Gcoin, you're like, it's 5,000 Gcoin. I think it's more of a psychological thing that they're just switching to that, but I could be wrong. But usually that's why these companies do that in the first place. Then we have Survivor Pass Highlands. Here we go. Very excited for this. This is going to be $10 or 990 Gcoin. And what's awesome about this, so before you go, we got to spend money and all stuff, it's reduced to 2 months. And I know people complain about, video games making too much money, but this is going to be the first pass for PUBG where you can earn the Gcoin back by playing. So this is awesome. And this is just my opinion here, but with this launching at the end of the month, I think this is on purpose, because this will go for through November and December. So I really feel like this is to make the season end at the end of the year, so it's the shortest season, and also give people some, if the season's too long, people might just forget about it or not care anymore. So that's like one reason. Number two, we're going to have a lot of new players, hopefully on next gen. I'm hoping, or new players coming to check out Paramo. That's what we would want. And then also, if you know you can get your money back, you're definitely going to try to finish the pass, even more than, the incentive of getting the rewards. So having the incentive to get your G coin back overall is just such a great strategy for PUBG to get people even like more addicted to finishing the pass. And I'm very excited about this. And then as a player, we actually can get the next pass for free, which is huge. And Fortnite did this, I think at some point, maybe they still do it. But I remember my buddy telling me that Fortnite did this and he was bummed that PUBG didn't. So again, here, something that's coming years later, but to me, better late than never, in my opinion. And I think this is great for PUBG. I love, 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 love this information here. Then we have some quality of life improvements. Again, here at the end of the match, you'll see mission completed animation the first time you return to the pass. So I think at the end of the game, you'll get like more of a, end of game screen showing you your rewards and XP bar. And again, this is to remind people, of what they did in the match, kind of give them a reward. So it's a little bit of like a positive feedback loop. And then also to remind them where they are in the past so they can keep going and kind of think about that. Right now, you can kind of just play without remembering to go check your missions and what you're doing. It's a different tab, right? You play. And if you want to see where you're at, you got to like tab over. So I think this is all part of that kind of feedback loop to get people more involved with the pass. But again, just my opinion, but it seems like that's the case here. And then some more pass reward XP visibility again. Some preview improvements, weekly missions. They're just showing that there's going to be 7 weekly missions because the short didn't pass. And then some improved performance, which they are always trying to do, in every update. And I'm kind of skipping through this stuff because it's all like UI changes and all this stuff to the game, in-game store improvements. I actually really like this on PC. The store and the clothing stuff customization felt a lot more fluid and made more sense to me. But we'll see how that works on controller. Sometimes it doesn't always correspond very well with the thumbsticks. And then customized menu improvement. The structured and layered custom menu has been revamped. Yeah, a lot of that stuff all seemed better to me. And then we have player status and party. It has been difficult to distinguish whether a party member has disconnected. Usually there's just like a little disconnection sign next to their name. So they're increasing this so you can tell that a little easier. And then additional UI updates. And then we have some new skins coming to the game, but there's a ton of new skins for Season 9 in the Survivor Pass, which I'm going to make a video going over all of that stuff, looking at the pass and when we'll be getting these rewards throughout the pass. So look out for that video. If I post it, I'll try to link it down in the description box below and also in a card above. Here are some things that are going to be available off the bat. Some baseball themed skins, some more animal themed skins, and there you go, guys. Just some more bug fixes down the road here. So again, this is strictly for PC, which the PTS is available right now. And this update is going live on PC on the 22nd or 21st, one of those days. And then this will be live on console on the 29th. So you can play right now on the PTS, which is a separate server on PC. Next week, it will be live on PC. And we will be able to hopefully test it on console. I did get a confirmation that we are getting a PTS on console for PlayStation and Xbox, but just no exact date yet. And we will find out about the queues and the frame rates for console with those patch notes. So if you guys have any questions or feedback, I would love to hear it down in the comments below. And happy to be back recording videos. Hopefully the stream room will be ready soon and I can be back to kind of normal form. So I want to thank you guys for watching. And as always, I'm Blitz5 and peace out.